A freight train lumbers out of the Ogden train depot and into the cold, black air. A short time later, the first section of the Pacific Limited passenger train, with 18 cars full of sleeping holiday travelers and soldiers on furlough, rolls towards San Francisco. Minutes later, the second section of the Pacific Limited, packed with 20 cars of express mail, edges along the shores of the Great Salt Lake. About 15 miles out, on a causeway above the lake, tragic circumstances begin to unfold. The freight train develops trouble and signals. The first section of the Pacific Limited responds by slowing down, but the second section train keeps barreling into the ill-fated frigid night.
The worst train wreck of 1944. It occurred in Utah as the year closed. In the dimness of early morning, a speeding passenger train, for some unknown reason, ran through a whole series of signals and piled up on a passenger train moving slowly on the tracks. The impact ripped crowded coaches into tangled wreckage, and we see the debris of a tragic horror.
Lewis Campbell was a fireman aboard the Pacific Limited first section train. He found the dead engineer from the second section train as steam from ruptured lines seeped into the exposed wreckage.
Everybody that wasn't dead were screaming, "Oh, God, help me." There's lots of screaming for help.
Fortunately, the Pacific Limited was carrying 2 Army hospital cars deadheading to San Francisco. Army doctors and nurses scrambled to help the dazed and injured. But for one Utah family, the train wreck would be particularly devastating. William Francis lost a brother, a sister, and 4 other family members in the accident.
I don't know if the steam or whatever it was that got into that car, but from what they could tell me was that she was black. See, they thought she was a black woman.
No one had identified the badly burned body William Francis was speaking about, but William's wife at the time, Millie Francis, already identified 5 of the family members. Then she recognized the hairdo on the blackened corpse. She had fixed her sister-in-law's hair the day before. It wasn't reported at the time, but family members say their deceased loved ones were robbed of money from their wallets and purses. And though brother-in-laws Jack Francis and Leroy Porter were Southern Pacific employees, there was never any compensation. A court ruled against the family because they had been riding on free passes that night.
They left a lot of scars on the mother and the father, which was my grandpa and grandma. They never got over it, and my aunt and uncle and my mom and dad never got over it.
Passenger trains have faded as a form of transportation, but questions linger over how this tragedy ever happened. Lewis Campbell is still haunted by the horrible collision, and the Francis family keeps praying for the souls of those lost along the shallow waters in snowy tracks more than 50 years ago.